From the field to the studio to your eyes and ears, we bring you the 816 Hour. Boys. Victory Monday. Another one.
Big.
It's just a normal thing at this point. But how are we feeling?
Knock on wood, normal thing. We talked about last podcast. Chiefs fans getting a little too comfortable with all these dubs. No, I'm good.
Have to.
Always a great Victory Monday. I mean, off today, so that's phenomenal. So yeah. How you boys doing?
Awesome. Went to the game yesterday. Great experience. Other than the parking lot, fixed parking lot, Kansas City. Inside the stadium, it's great. Outside the stadium, not so much. But it was great.
Where were your seats? Where were your seats, Carter? Where were your seats?
A couple rows back from the railing on the top deck.
What side of the field? Do you know?
The one with the sun.
Tells you nowhere where it's close to. In proximity.
Right about 40.
Okay, there it is. I was going to say, in proximity to the field, where would you say you were?
Right about the 40-yard line.
Okay, solid. Thank you.
He gave no description. I was like trying to imagine where he was sitting.
The red seats.
There
were red seats to my left and right.
I love
there were concrete stairs.
The seats next to the people.
Yeah, there were other Chiefs fans.
There were other people there, I think.
It looked like a good crowd on TV. I mean, when they kicked it off, it just looked like a sea of red. I mean, it usually is, but that was nice to see after last week, looking a little empty after the cold, negative 10 degrees. I can't blame them, though.
Amen.
Hey, Bryson showed out. Hey,
I was out there. All 4 quarters.
Back-to-back weeks, the 816 Hours at a game.
Hey,
Keeg, are you making the trip to Vegas?
Hey, I got you, boys. I'm in.
Just say this Vegas game. After seeing how they played San Francisco yesterday, I'm a little bit more nervous about this game going into it.
Yeah, Jarrett Stidham, he played really well.
Mm-hmm. Team playing for nothing. It's scary.
Yeah, no, you're right. They just want to play spoiler next week. But let's hop into it. Kansas City, 15th straight win over Denver, 27-24. Another good, tight AFC West game. How are we feeling about the win? Just get into it.
It wasn't pretty. I feel like the past couple weeks we've continued to say that about these wins for the Chiefs, but they just continue to get it done. No win in the NFL is easy. Any given Sunday, Russell Wilson, he was once considered a Hall of Fame quarterback. He's still a good quarterback, I would say. But still feel good about the dub.
Yeah, I mean, these last couple of games, as expected, it's going to be grindy. Not a whole lot of special trick plays that Andy Reid and the Chiefs are known for. So a lot of just your basic plays.
True. No, yeah, it is. I mean, it looks like more of a basic offense. Yeah, just that's the way to put it. I mean, it doesn't, they're not when, late in the game yesterday, they had to go down and score, try to put it away. And then they were calling those plays, to Kelsey, starting to get the ball moving. But I do think it is a thing where they're just trying to get into the playoffs and just get there healthy. But I mean, like Bryson said, I mean, no win in the NFL is easy. So, I'll take the dub any day. I don't care how it looks. Let's see here. So we can hop into our positive. What's our positive for the game?
Personally, my biggest positive, the Chiefs defense showed some life. It wasn't a great game by any means. I mean, Russell Wilson did have 2 rushing touchdowns. The Broncos were 3 of 12 on third down. Chiefs defense had 4 sacks as well as forced 2 turnovers. Trent McDuffie coming off the edge, that extra speed that guy has, just flew off the edge. Love to see that. L'Jarius Sneed, he got that interception. Hopefully he's not missing any time, probably misses the Vegas game if I had to assume with the news of his hip injury. But Nick Bolton, he continues to impress. He had 10 tackles. He is second in the NFL in tackles, only behind Foyesana Aluakon of the Jacksonville Jaguars, which I want to say we made the prediction that he would finish first in tackles in the NFL this preseason. We made that prediction. Willie Gay, he continues to grow and develop. I think we could be watching the next great linebacker duo in the NFL. Absolutely love it. Continue to just like so much energy Willie brings. And then Nick Bolton's just like straight business, just runs through everyone. I love it. But yeah, the defense.
My biggest positive, our running back duo continues to show out. They seem like they only get better every single game. I mean, Jarek gets more and more receiving yards every single game, and I just don't think there's a roof at this point for Jarek. And Isaiah Pacheco tearing it up on the ground. Teams don't know how to stop these two guys, so I love it. I think they need to keep using these guys.
Question is Jerick McKinnon, has he overtaken Travis Kelce as the biggest weapon on the Chiefs offense?
No.
The biggest weapons, Patrick Mahomes. Yeah.
Well, I'm just tossing it out there. 5 straight games with a receiving touchdown.
Record. NFL
Just
record.
say that is also a record.
He also holds the record for most receiving touchdowns by a running back in the Chiefs history now.
Love that.
He
Also
broke Jamal's record.
has more receiving touchdowns than Tyreek Hill this season. I want to throw that out
does.
there.
Jerick McKinnon better than Tyreek Hill.
I mean,
Confirmed.
He's just been on a tear. I love it. Oh my goodness, I love it.
Brings me to my next question real quick. Did the Chiefs re-sign him this season? Obviously signed him to a 1-year deal this past offseason.
Got to. At this point, is how much he gets used in this offense. They got to.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about it yesterday. I mean, he might be playing into his way on a little big contract. Obviously, he's not going to be a top paid running back. He's 31, had an ACL injury. But for the way he's playing this year, I mean, he's deserved somewhat of a bag. I mean, with how important he has been to the Kansas City offense, I feel like you just got to pay him, reasonably, but with just whatever he wants, you got to bring him back. I mean, oh my goodness, he's just been insane.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, he's pretty much just another wide receiver. I mean, he's just, oh my goodness. It's just crazy how he's been playing. I mean, you can run the ball with him. You can.
What's your positive, Keith? What's your positive, Keith?
Hey, I'm just loving on Jerick.
I love it.
Man.
I love it.
My positive, the Mahomes MVP case.
That's
328 and 3 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
We're saying I got to bring it up every week. I mean, that's it. The MVP's over. I mean, it's him. But he's just continuing to play at that level. Had the interception, obviously, in the end zone. But I mean, it always makes them better. They went out and scored the next drive.
Yep.
But also, like you were saying, Snead, just the way he was playing, and then we talked about it. Snead playing just whoever the big wide receiver was on the field, and then McDuffie being in the slot with Judy after what Judy did to us last time. I mean, it's just. I mean, that's a guy in his rookie year and a guy in his third year that you can just so versatile. And I saw a tweet about Snead how he has like over 100 tackles this year, and just he had like a record for tackles for loss. I don't remember it now, but just playing like an all-pro, and just like you said, just flying around out there. It's fun to see.
Yeah, I agree.
What's our negatives?
The Chiefs special team, there's a couple question marks. It started with the botched kind of snap catch Tommy Townsend couldn't handle on the extra point. Then it was the miss from 51. Looked like he got blocked, so the missed assignment there. Kadarius Toney, he fumbled on the punt return, which set up a Russell Wilson 16-yard touchdown. Playoffs, you can't do that. I really want to go back to not worrying about the playoffs. I was watching the game with my dad, and Harrison lined up for an extra point in the third. And he was like, it's not I have to hold my breath when Harrison kicks again. And I was like, man, now that you say that, kind of worried a little bit more and more when the Chiefs special team is kind of called on in the game. So come this Vegas game, I'd really enjoy a Chiefs special teams, just a clean game, no real hiccups, worries. But yeah, I think they'll get it together. I think they'll get it done, get back on the same page. I'm not worried about it at all, but it's something that is raising question marks for sure.
Is it too late in the season to shuffle up that placeholding spot? Is it too late in the season?
Stop.
Hey, that's a Pro Bowl holder. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's a Pro Bowl punter. He's not a Pro Bowl holder. No disrespect to Tommy, but that man cannot hold a. He's not a good placeholder. I have to say it.
What's your biggest negative, Key?
Oh, okay, my bad. I thought you were still going. Oh yeah, mine's special teams, man. If it's that big of an issue with this holding, man, get someone else to hold. I mean, we can't continue to do this in the playoffs. I mean, if it's going to be, it's not something I worry about because I mean, I just feel like in the playoffs it'll be different. At least that's my hope. But I mean, if you can't clean it up and one of those things, a bad snap or a blocked field goal, it costs you in the playoffs. I mean, you never know. So something got to get cleaned up. Definitely something they can work on with one more week left for sure.
I agree.
Also, my other negative was only 9 carries for Pacheco. We talk about it week in and week out. I want to see more. I want to see 15 plus. 9 carries just not going to cut it. Obviously, I mean, he only averaged like 3.2 average per carry. It's not like he was going crazy, but I would just love to see more out of him for sure.
Mm-hmm. Game script was kind of weird yesterday. I felt like Chiefs took shots in situations I felt like they shouldn't have taken shots in, but different situations. Should have ran the ball more on first and second down. I felt like Keegan said, only 9 carries for Isaiah. That feed the man. I mean, there's no reason why Isaiah's not getting 15 carries this late in the season. We saw Ronald Jones get some love. I was like, where is Carter's take is gonna hit? Like, what is happening?
Yeah, they gave him like 3 carries in a row, and I was like, okay, this is a Ronald Jones game. I guess we're going we're playing like this. Okay.
Another thing, I don't know if anyone remembered this, but Melvin Gordon, why didn't he have his revenge game yesterday? Saw him on the sidelines a couple times.
Yeah,
I was like, wait, he's on the practice squad. Forgot about that. Would have been cool to see him kind of suit up, get a couple snaps, but
I was surprised they didn't. It just shows that they just signed him just in case of an injury or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely thought they were gonna get him and then let him just go crazy versus the Broncos, late in the season. But I guess not. They when it came to it, they gave Ronald Jones snaps. So, and next week with obviously they're playing for something, the 1 seed, but in a less meaningful game, maybe you see a little bit more Ronald Jones, or maybe we see Melvin Gordon. You never know.
I don't think there's any shot we see Melvin Gordon. Come on.
Hey, we're seeing Melvin Gordon next week. Now we are. You want to hate on it? I hope we see Melvin Gordon. Carl, what was your negative? Did you go?
Yeah, I was gonna say special teams and.
Bryson
said it all. I think we all kind of hit on it.
No, yeah, just something they got to clean up for sure. Also, turnovers, not a big issue, but it continues to happen. Just stuff they got to clean up before the playoffs, of course. Some of the bye week would really help with. I got a question. What's your confidence in the Chiefs defense to get them to the Super Bowl?
I mean, coming off of this game against a Denver team that, no, they're not good by any means. They're arguably one of the worst offenses in the NFL. But in the same aspect, I feel like you have to take it with a grain of salt because Russell Wilson is their quarterback and he's still great. The Chiefs defense were able to hold every single Denver wide receiver to under 50 receiving yards. I think that's huge. I think that's a huge step forward for such a young receiving core. I think it's going to be a big task against Devontae Adams next week, especially after what we saw the Raiders offense do to the 49ers defense. That's been so great this whole season. So I think that's going to be a big task, but knowing Chris Jones is on that defensive line, Nick Bolton, Willie Gay's in that linebacking core, Justin Reed's arguably one of the smartest safeties, I'd say, in the NFL. L'Jarius Sneed playing like an all-pro, so if he's healthy and with everyone just getting better, I feel like I'm confident, yeah. And with Patrick Mahomes, I'm just sorry, no.
I agree. I'm not worried at all about our defense. I think those guys are really stepping up and stepping into who they're going to be in the NFL. It's great. Love it.
No, yeah. It's a young defense. In that Seahawks game, they looked like a Super Bowl caliber defense, like we said. This week, there was probably besides the second rushing touchdown by Russ, mean, they played pretty well. I mean, it's not something I'm necessarily worried about. Like you guys said, I mean, they got Chris Jones, they got Nick Bolton, they got guys that can just step up and make plays when the time is needed. But also they have a young secondary that we've seen, have struggled this year, and that could be something in the playoffs. But like Bryson said, they do have Mahomes on the other side of the ball. So, I mean, if they let up 30, they probably have 40. So, but still, just got to get that momentum going in the playoffs. I mean, Sack Nation. We saw Kyle Saunders, with the sack. He's been playing great. Just got to lock it down.
I don't know if you guys saw Frank Clark's post-game interview, but they were asking him for some comments, and he said playoff football is after next week. So I'll give you the comment you're looking for next week. So I'm excited.
Just know it's coming.
Frank Clark, you always know. I mean, he told us at training camp, he smells blood in the water. He's feeling great. So playoff Frank, he always comes alive. We've seen it in that Super Bowl run. He had a sack to end every single game. Just crazy. So whenever the playoffs come around, I'm hoping Sack Nation comes alive for sure.
Yeah, if Sack Nation come alive in the playoffs, I mean, oh man, that'll be fun. The way, I mean, Chris Jones is having he's got 13 sacks, but back to Frank real quick. I mean, you look at his stats, he's got 5 sacks on the year. I think he's played actually pretty well this year. After, the way he's, he hasn't lived up to that contract this year, they restructure and he goes out there. He's had problems, stomach issues, but I think he's played really well this year. I won't lie. So that'll be a big help in the playoffs.
Yeah, 100%.
Anyone got anything else? I'm going to do player of the game.
I was going to say, my player of the game is Trent McDuffie. I feel like if you take out that 40-yard pass interference on Jerry Jeudy in the fourth quarter, he played insanely well. 7 total tackles and a sack, had that forced fumble. Like I mentioned, no Broncos pass catcher had over 50 receiving yards. That's huge for this young secondary. Yeah, I love that going into the playoffs. I think just continuing to add good games under your belt, it's going to be huge. And just like we mentioned, just the versatility these Chiefs cornerbacks have. So Spags is able to just move them around even more. We're starting to see Snead move out of the slot. We're starting to see Trent McDuffie come off the edge. Like we've seen Snead do that all season. Now it's McDuffie. Maybe we saw Justin Reed do it a couple weeks ago. So it's exciting to see just everyone kind of come into their own, to see the defense kind of how it's viewed. It was supposed to become this offseason. That makes sense.
My play of the game was really gay. He had 7 total tackles and 5 solos and a couple really big tackles in key moments. I think he just played great. I think he's been getting better with every week he's been playing. So, Willie Gay
brings the energy every week.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of guys stepping up right now, especially on the defensive side. I'm sticking with the defense. I think Justin Reed had a really good game. I think he had a couple pass deflections, but I obviously with the Bengal thing, he tweeted out and then couldn't live up to it. I think he's played pretty well the last few weeks, and I think yesterday. I think also it's a good thing with the DB. If you don't hear his name a lot, I feel like that's a good thing. I feel like that just means they're locking down. And he had another game with no catches on him. So just seeing that secondary struggle. So if they can just get right going in the playoffs, I mean, yeah, we know what will happen.
It's gonna be big. Gonna be big.
Yeah. Next week, yeah, Raiders. Did you guys see the Chiefs are playing Saturday?
Yeah. It's weird. Very
Saturday,
weird.
3:30. So catch that preview a couple days before or a couple days earlier than normal. How we feel about it? Jarrett Stidham. I mean, that man went out there and threw 365 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Golly.
I mean, he's got Devontae Adams, and he had 2 touchdowns. So, but looking at 365, 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, I'm thinking that man was just slinging the ball.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really good test for this secondary, as we just talked about. I mean, they struggled, but you're going to throw it 45 times, man. Be ready. I mean, let's lock it down. But how are you guys feeling? 1 more week left. Chiefs can still get the 1 seed.
I feel confident. I feel like we could see fireworks on Saturday. I really do. Like I mentioned, a Raiders team that's not really playing for anything. Jared Stidham, a career backup, not really playing for much. Maybe the last time he starts, who knows? So he's just going to come out slinging. Josh Jacobs, he's just continuing to churn out yards, arguably the best running back in football right now. So I think it's going to be a big test for Kansas City. But when you got 1-5 on your team and his track record against the AFC West and with the number one seed on that could be on the line, I'm confident for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, with that one seed on the line, do we see Andy Reid unleash Patrick Mahomes? He only needs 430 yards to break that single season passing record.
Oh my.
430.
He did.
It's possible for Patrick Mahomes.
He's going to get in the first half.
Golly.
That'd be insane.
Imagine.
Yeah. I need Chad anytime next week.
I would love that.
Hey, anything else? Hey, go Bengals.
Yeah,
Huge game tonight.
That's
Need
big.
the dub.
Need it.
Does anyone have anything else? Sorry, Chad keeps calling me.
This guy. Kadarius Toney. He was the leading receiver for Kansas City. 4 receptions, 71 yards.
Over 70 yards, yes.
Huge. That's huge.
Quiet big game.
Love that. Sky Moore kind of had a coming out game. Continue. Give that man snaps.
Then he had that drop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they start playing him more, and everyone's like, "Oh, there we go, playing him more,"
Love
and then he dropped that easy one, and I was like, man, well,
Yeah.
that you can't be put on the field now, man.
Happens.
But hit us up. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. We're there. We're everywhere. Anywhere you listen to your podcast or YouTube. If you're watching it right now, you're on YouTube. You're watching us. Hit that subscribe button. Ring the bell. But podcasts, we're everywhere. Amazon, Spotify, Apple Music. Leave comments. Let us know what you guys want to hear. Let us know what you want to see. We'll get around to it. We'll do it. We're here for you guys. But check out our merch. Big Cartel / the 816 Hour. Some awesome shirts on there. Some crazy cool pins. But yeah.
Got anything else? We out?
Yeah, we're out.
Peace.
Peace.